Okay, so we're back with you. We have in the studio Miss Deb Eastwood, and we're talking about Learn to Swim Week. Good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
All right. So, how have you been since we last spoke? Because we've spoken about this before. What have you been doing?
We're doing everything we can to get Grenada swimming. So we have our National Learn to Swim Weeks. This is the third year that we're doing it, and we've added some new sites. We're going to be in Carriacou this year, and also up in Grenville, which we were trying to get. So we have 14 sites now this year, and we're in full swing right now, getting volunteers and having people sign up. We have almost 400 people signed up already.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it has grown from the first time
Yes.
that you've done it until now, almost
Yes.
400 people.
Yeah, well, we expect 700. We have 400 signed up. Well, the first year we did 500, and last year we did 630. And because we're adding 3 more sites, we're pretty sure we'll
Right.
get 700 this year.
Okay, so what is the age range? Who are you looking for? It can be anybody.
No, well, we say 6 and up, and mostly that's not because 4 and 5-year-olds can't learn, but it's just the instructor, the teacher to student ratio.
Right.
That if the younger they are, then sometimes it has to be a one-on-one relationship,
Right.
and we can't teach that many. So
Right.
we start at 6.
Okay.
We start at 6, but we do go up to whatever age. We had like an 80-year-old. We've taught a couple 80-year-olds, and it's been very satisfying to see that happen. We teach lots of adults now.
Right.
Last year, over 100 adults, and most of them women. There are a number of women who really want to learn to swim and have come out for that.
Great. So because I've often heard that it's always easier to learn to swim when you're younger because there's not so much fear. You go into the water, but as an older person, you are afraid of the water because you know what can
Yes.
happen. How is it? It's not difficult to teach people like that?
It is all about the fear. It isn't about the age. So you can have a 6-year-old who's terrified, and it might take 3 lessons just to get them to put their head under the water. So it doesn't matter whether they're 6 or whether they're 70. It's the same
It's the
process, and yeah, it's the fear. Once the fear is gone, you could teach them, and you could teach them to be water safe in 1 or 2 lessons, because you just need to be able to float on your back in case something happens.
Yeah,
You just roll
definitely.
over on your back.
So registration is ongoing right now.
Right now,
Is there a registration fee?
there's no fee for this. The lessons are all free, provided for by volunteers, and we have some paid instructors just to make sure every site is equipped with the right, balance of people. But we get that money through local businesses, and Republic Bank is our major sponsor, and they've been wonderful helping us. And the Grenada Olympic Committee just made a nice donation too.
Great. So they're supporting you. So when is the week? When does it begin?
It starts next Tuesday, a week
Next
from
week,
today.
Tuesday.
And like I said, we're in 14 locations. So we have 3 locations in Grand Anse. We have Grand Mall and La Sagesse and Good Hope Pool and Sojikoa, which is the Chinese pool in Woodlands.
Right.
Carriacou in front of Lumbadive. So we have a website, and you can register on the website and see all of the locations. Would you like me to give that to the audience?
website,
Yes.
sure.
So it's www.nltswgrenada.com. That stands for National Learn to Swim Week Grenada. We just didn't want to have that big long address. So
Yeah.
nltswgrenada.com. You can go there, you can sign up. And if you're not on the internet and you can't do that, then my number's out in a number of places. You can call me and I'll just register you. That number is 404-5237. 404-5237. And I will just sign you up.
Okay, great. All right, so how important is it for safety, the issue of safety in all of this?
It's very important. I mean, it is one of the key reasons we're doing that. If you look back to last year and the incident we had in River Sally, where a boat went out with, 12 people, let's say. It was a number of people, and half of them came home, and those half that came home knew how to swim. So we have people all the time that just fall off a cliff into the water or something like that, and a fisherman that falls in and doesn't know how to swim. But
Right.
so safety is very important.
Right. So this aspect is just 1 week. How much can one learn in a week, providing there's absolutely no fear?
If there's no fear, they'll be
Yeah.
great, okay? Sometimes it's hard to say, but usually in 5 days, we can get anyone to be water safe. It doesn't mean they're going to be a great swimmer and go to OECS and do all the strokes, but in 5 lessons, we will get you floating on your belly and your back, and we'll get you kicking and some locomotion through the water and know how to move. The last thing we do, I have 5 steps, and the last thing is to get people on their back. As long as you can float, we teach you how to do like an elementary backstroke on your back, and that means you could fall out of a boat, and of course you're safe because you're on your back, but you're not going anywhere. So if you can do elementary backstroke, then you can actually move yourself to safety.
Right. So what time are the sessions beginning?
They start at 1. They're 1-hour lessons, so you can sign up
1
for
hour.
5 lessons, and they start next Tuesday. They go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and when you register for a certain hour. You register from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So 1 hour lessons.
So they start at 1 and go right.
They go to 5.
Okay.
And I do want to say one thing. I do know a lot of people work, and so for adults, we've added at umbrellas. We've added a 5 to 6, but only at that one location. So if you really want to learn to swim and you work till 4 or 4:30, and you want to get over to umbrellas, we will have instructors there teaching from 5 to 6.
Okay. So, this is good. So how many people roughly do you have at each location?
It depends. I look at my registrations and then put instructors accordingly. But the average would be 6 to 8, instructors. So, we just added Hope Beach, and it won't have a ton of people there. So maybe I only have 3 or 4 at that location.
Right.
But we added Grenville. We added, for the first time, White Sands in Soubise.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, so many people are signing up for that location. So I probably need to have 8 to 10 instructors up in Soubise.
Okay. And how do you, when you first started, how many sites did you begin with?
We had about 10 the
About
first
10
year,
sites.
and now we have 14.
Or 14. So
Right.
what are some of the things that you're looking at to ensure that these sites are adequate enough to do what you need to do?
That is a great question. So we go to each site and we make sure that I go in the water. I make sure it's shallow enough that you can teach, that there aren't, things in the water that would hurt the children or the learners. It was really hard for Grenville, just so you know. I went up 3 times. I picked Maquis Beach, and then I had so many people say, you can't go there. It's too rough and everything else. So I went back up again, and I actually went with some local people because I wanted them to tell me where we should go.
Right.
And they picked out White Sands, and it's not, it's not Grand Anse, but in the end, I decided we're going to do it here, and we're going to go up with rakes and try to get rid of some of the seaweed and some of those things.
Right. Okay. In all your years of experience in swimming, what are some of the mistakes that people would make when they're going out to sea? And I'm not talking necessarily about people now who are learning, but people who, they know how to swim, but there are certain things that you might do. I know, like for instance, a lot of people say, I don't know if it's true, that you should not eat and then go into the water immediately. I'm not sure if there's a certain amount of time should pass before you do that, or if you exercise and your body's too hot, you shouldn't go into the water immediately. What are some of the things that people need to consider? So even if they come and they learn with you, they need to keep these things in mind to be safe.
Right. That's a great question. Okay. Most of the things you said are not true. Okay. It isn't that you can't eat and go in the water. You can. That's an old myth that it used to be. People believe that, but that's not true.
That's what I wondered, yeah.
No, and there's something about wearing socks, which never in the U.S. I saw, but when I first came here and I taught at the school, and I would just take the school children to the beach, I noticed they all took their shoes off in the afternoon while we're in class, and I said, that's not true, because they felt like if you went in and your feet hadn't breathed enough. So none of those things are true. The biggest thing you have to be careful of is if anything happens in the water is not to panic. And that's what people have. And that's your inclination, is to panic. Okay, but if you're in the water and you're in a situation, you fell off a boat or something happened, you have to relax and float. That's what's going to help save you. But the more you're tense and the more you're struggling, the more you probably will sink. But there's nothing there in terms of, if you ate a great big meal, and you were stuffed and your belly was full, you might wait 10, 15 minutes, just because you want to feel good before you swim. But it's not, there's nothing, I'm a Red Cross instructor, there's nothing in the Red Cross or anything else now that talks about needing to wait to eat.
Right. So actually, something for people who unfortunately eat wrong sometimes.
Yes.
While they might have encountered very rough seas, depending on where the
Yes.
incident might have happened. So I'm not just talking necessarily about Grenada, but also because they may have panicked and not
Yes.
put into practice what they would have learned,
Right.
which would contribute to maybe their death instead of helping them in some way until help comes along. All right, great. All right, so let's talk about another aspect now. Get Grenada swimming.
Yes.
What is that about?
That is an outgrowth from National Learn to Swim Week. So after we did this for 2 years, I was looking for more ways to help, because only once a year, I mean, it's great and people can come and swim, but at the end of both years, they said, now what do we do? And I was like, well, there are, we teach lessons, private lessons. They cost money though, and, and I was struggling. And so we decided we would open up some beaches for free swimming on Saturday mornings.
Right.
And so we have, and I started this program. So Great Grenada Swimming is actually, we're targeted at getting 8,000 children between the ages of 5 and 14 to swim, to provide lessons for them in the next 5 years. Now, why 8,000? Because somebody showed me the census, and it showed there are 16,000 people children in Grenada between those ages. And in 5 years, I don't think we could teach 16,000.
Okay.
But I do think we could teach 8,000, and especially with the ministry programs. Natalie Regis Sahara runs, with the ministry, runs a program, a school program. And between what they do and what we want to do, theirs is school focused, and ours is community focused. So we are on Saturday mornings. We right now have 4 locations, 4 locations with free Saturday morning lessons. So in front of Umbrellas at Grand Anne's, at Grenada Marine in Corinth, and Grand Mall, those 3 locations. And then in Carriacou, I believe they do it in the afternoon.
Okay.
But our goal is to go to 12 locations over the next 12 years, or 5 years. By the year 2021, we'd like to teach 8,000 children through free Saturday morning lessons. And then we want to add another National Learn to Swim Week. So that will happen the week the children get out of school. And we have some funding from Sandals already for that. So doing what we're doing now, except not on such a huge scale. We have a lot of international volunteers come in for National Learn to Swim Week. Well, the school week will just be focused on the school children, and you won't see banners, like huge banners everywhere and that kind of thing. But so adding another National Learn to Swim Week, and then we would like to get into the schools. We would like to do that. But to do that, we need more people trained in swimming to be instructors.
Right.
And so again, Natalie Sahara has, with the help of Sandals, we've started a coaches development program. It's been going for a month. There are 24 to 30 people in this. It's an 8-month program. They'll be certified at the end.
Okay.
Most of those people that are learning to be instructors, they've had a month, 6 weeks of training now, and they're going to be at all these locations helping out. So, and in the end, we would love to have those people in the schools and start getting school teams going. So it's a bigger program.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
All right, great. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, I just want to say that I appreciate the sponsors and the people that contribute. There's a fair amount of local businesses, the dive shops, the marinas, that just really support us.
Sure.
And I do appreciate that. And I have a PRO that's doing a fabulous job and got packets into every school. Her name is Pearl Dolan, and she's been doing an amazing job getting the word out there.
Great. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
You're welcome.
Come learn to swim.
So we've been talking.
If you're thinking about it, yeah, come. Sorry.
Sure. We've been speaking with Ms. Deb Eastwood, and we've been talking about National Learn to Swim Week. So that starts next week, Tuesday. Registration is ongoing, so you have a week to get that done. And of course, there are 14 sites this time. We have Carriacou and Grenville as well, so the age is 6 and up. And the website, if you need more information, www.NLTSW, which is National Learn to Swim Week. So it's www.nltswgrenada.com, or you can simply call her 404-5237. We take a quick break. We'll be right back.